Hey, how's it going, everybody? Steven Kirk here with you on Shortwaves. This is our little mini-series of mini episodes that we're cramming in between seasons 3 and 4. And yes, we will be back with full 1-hour episodes in March. Stay tuned for details there. And seeing as this is a short episode, I'm just having a short beer this week. Yeah, that's just not going to be enough. Anyway, I'm going to go take care of this problem. What I want you to do is check out this new segment we're going to have when we come back in March. We are actually going to take a look at independent record labels. And this week, Chasta sits down with Mickey Darius of Broken Clover Records. Chasta, you do yours, I'll do mine.
Bay Area native Mickey Darius founded Broken Clover Records in San Francisco back in 2018 to represent artists he found interesting, meaningful, and off the beaten path. The big sell here is Mickey supports his artists like no one else you know this day and age. And treating his artists like gold, he doesn't stop there. 2 months out of the year, he also devotes his profits to charity. Mickey is a true supporter of the artist and the craft, and the Bay Area is proud to call him their own. And here we have Mickey Darius of Broken Clover Records on Shortwaves. Welcome, my friend, and I can say that because we are good friends now.
Definitely are.
How are you?
I'm doing great, Chasta. It's super good to see you.
Super good to see you too. I'm so grateful for our fast friendship, I guess you could say. You and I met last year whenever I interviewed you for the first time on Soundwaves for banding together, because you are the man that's always out there doing the real Lord's work. Like, you are in it, you're raising money, you're getting awareness for this charity or that charity or this music group or whatever. I got to give you all the love in the world and the respect in the world for doing all that you do. You're a good man, Charlie Brown.
I appreciate it. You know, I hate the context that we had to meet just through, this
Sure.
kind of tragic situation that, the world finds itself in. But there have certainly been some highlights, and just meeting people that you had to kind of band together to, figure something out, or, kind of work on a solution. And you're certainly one of the bright lights kind of from that. So, yeah.
Right back at you. Absolutely. Yeah. And I remember when you talked to me the first time, you were like, I do this and that and all these things. And I was literally like trying to take notes. I'm like, this guy is the busiest human I know. But you did say something that caught my attention that day that I was like, boop, I'm going to earmark that for a full conversation later, because I want to give this the spotlight that it deserves. You have an incredible record label here in San Francisco called Broken Clover Records. And what you do within this record label, how you present your artist, is what impressed me so much. So tell people a little bit about your record label, how you work, and the artists that you represent.
Yeah, so we put out our first release on Valentine's Day of 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So we've now been around for a couple of years, and we've got. Let me see. We've just put out. We've got the 13th record in production right now. Yeah. So definitely a healthy catalog. Mm-hmm. In the couple of years that we've been around. And
been busy.
Yeah, certainly been busy, and it's try and keep the roster as a diverse place as I can. So I have no interest in being the best metal label or the best hip hop label or anything like that. I would really much rather it reflect kind of what my record collection looks like, or the record shops that I like to go to.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got everything from like jazz fusion to kind of ethereal ambient with like beat driven stuff kind of behind that, instrumental kind of moody indie rock stuff, definitely like heavy guitar laden stuff. So try and keep it as interesting a home for music as possible.
It is interesting, and it feels a little off the beaten path, which I really like. It's not like those really catchy AF radio cuts and stuff. Like, this is stuff that has a purpose. I mean, not that those songs don't have a purpose, everybody calm down, but that has like a real, a real point, a real message they want to get across, or it's impactful. It catches your attention in a different way. It's interesting in a different way. And it's not expected. A lot of the things that you post, I'll go and check it out and I'm like, that's different. That's cool. I think you have an interesting label. And I have to point out the most amazing thing, because just don't know, maybe I'm wrong, I don't know that this is the way the world works anymore. You front your artist. Whenever they have a vinyl release come out, you front the money as if that sold out. So they get advance pay. Am I saying that right?
Yeah. So it's important for me, for the artist to get their financial recognition for the work, not just, getting a write up or, people talking about it. But they're always kind of the last to get paid. Once the record pressing plant, they get paid right up front, when I'm putting my order in. Everyone along the whole chain, they get paid when the order goes in. But the musicians, they created the thing right on the front end and aren't seeing any money, in many cases, until they're the very last to get paid.
You have bands and musicians watching this right now that just jumped up off the couch and they're like,
and so it feels important for me to not just have to be like, cool, I got your recording, we put this out, and like,
see what happens.
Sit tight.
Right.
So the way I do it with my artists is we figure out what of the available units that are going to be going out for retail, what that amount, dollar amount would be. And then I always split everything 50-50 between label and artist. So whatever that total amount would be, I advance them their half, as though all of those copies have already sold at retail price.
Putting your money where your mouth is. That is true belief in the artist that you choose. That's incredible.
I don't have anybody on the label that I don't have faith in what they're doing, and whether it's a message they're trying to get out, or in some cases, you'd mentioned, there's a purpose, kind of behind a lot of this music. In some instances, I would actually say not so much, other than just to make fucking badass music.
Yeah.
Like that sometimes that's the purpose. And if that's the message, that's also fine. Like, not everything I don't think has to have this like outpouring of like, oh, here's our thing. But as long as I do kind of need everything though to be like authentic and sincere. And like, if it's just badass music, that's fine, but make it badass.
Be authentically badass. That should be like your catchphrase.
Authentically badass.
Right? I know. We need like merch that says authentically badass. I love that. So just because of the way that you treat your artists, which is incredible, you may have a lot of people like, hello, can you help us out? How do you choose these artists? How do you connect with artists that you end up representing?
So what I've been really fortunate to experience with the label is it's been very organic with a lot of the artists I work with. So Agrio is a band I work with in Spain. They got introduced to me by the second band that I had released on the label, Enablers. The singer for Enablers had actually done some work with this band in Spain. So he kind of referred me to them. I ended up working with them. And then fast forward a few months, they actually referred me to another band in Madrid who we're putting out now a record of theirs that's coming out in about a month or two. They're called Talk. And so a lot of these introductions and meetings have really been, oh, well, you should listen to this, or you might know this guy.
The best way.
And it again, with that sort of that authenticity, it feels, my people know what I like, and who, not even more than that, who I like, and the kind of people and the kind of projects that I like to get involved with, that I'll really kind of put my effort into. And, so there's these really good connections. And then beyond that, it's a little bit of scouting. So for instance, I actually found a band in the Congo called Fulu Muziki that I'm in talks with them about putting out a record, and they've got another side project, but like I found them on the internet and just was like, this is really cool. I want to, and just like, I think I found a Facebook page, sent some like totally unsolicited message, like, hey, I'm this guy.
Yeah.
I'm this guy. You might, here's my label. Here's information about me. Do you want to talk? And
wow. I mean, you literally, that's proof you go to the corners of the earth to find some great art. I mean, that's really, and because of the internet, you can do that. So that's really amazing, Mickey. I'm always blown away by this work that you do. And speaking of, you're doing really great work this month specifically. And I know here we are at the end of the month. So this is like a final push for your movement with Broken Clover. You give back in a big way 2 times a year, 2 months of the year, I should say, February being one of them. So how does that work with your vinyl sales?
Yep. So every February and every August, I reach out to all the artists that have active releases up to that point, and just ask for everybody's input on to submit a nonprofit that they would like to be a recipient of funds from this campaign that we do every 2 months, or that we do twice a year. And all label profits for that month just get basically. So however many nonprofits we come up with, sometimes there's double up. So that's why this month there's only 5, just because some of the artists said the same ones. And at the end of the month, we just take whatever we have, whatever the label profits are. So the artists still have gotten paid. So this isn't taking any money away from the artist. This isn't taking any money away from anyone else in the supply chain. It's just the label giving our portion of it. And it just gets divvied up between the nonprofits that have been submitted, and that's it.
That's so cool. I love that idea.
It just feels, again, kind of like it being important for me to make sure that the artists are getting paid, to not just for music. Like, there is an importance for the content that we put out, like putting out good music or a good message, or making sure that that art is getting out there is important. But I also feel that there is a responsibility of, we have a platform, and we have people that are looking at what we do, and we have people that follow, so kind of leading by example of, it's not just enough to kind of do this. If you have the means to give back, then, do it. So,
and there is the reason that you're my kind of people. You're preaching to the choir. I mean, that's the truth. I mean, we have so many of these conversations, whether it be with what's happening in the world and all of the issues that we're working out. I guess that's the easiest way to put it. You and I have great conversations about that and what we can do to make a difference. And I love that you've taken your art, and the artists that you work with, and you're not only, really supporting great art and putting that out into the world. So that's part of the legacy, right? That will live on forever. But then also you're taking that and supporting others in these great causes. I mean, there's really nothing better.
I'd love to actually give just a quick shout out of the nonprofits that we are supporting this month. So one of them we've spoken about extensively, but the IVA, so the San Francisco Independent Venue Alliance,
super important, especially right now.
Very much. Then we've got the Bowery Mission. It's an organization in New York that helps the homeless and hungry. Then we've got the ACLU. I don't think anybody needs any
explanation there. Yeah.
And then working with an organization in Berlin called Street College. And it's an organization that helps supplying educational materials and educational resources to folks that do not have homes. And then we work with, for this one, the Banco de Alimentos Madrid, and it's a food bank in Madrid. So this program I really love, because it's not just now working with these artists in different part of the world, but it's now kind of creating this network with these other organizations. So, working with, somewhere in Berlin and Madrid and New York and San Francisco, and kind of unifying them and giving them shine too. It's not, not just international artists, but also these international organizations that are helping the community that these artists live in.
That's the word. That's the word that came to mind, was community. You're reaching into the community of your artists, not just your own little bubble, and reaching into other bubbles. It's so important, especially these days. So incredible work, Mickey. I can't even say enough great things about you. I'm always amazed. So I want to make sure that everyone finds you on the internet. So where would you like to point people to so that they can get connected with you and support? So
it's just brokencloverrecords.bandcamp.com.
Easy peasy.
Easy.
Yep.
And then we do have our Facebook page. You can just search Broken Clover Records.
There you go. It's very easy. If you put Broken Clover in any capacity into the Google machine, it pulls up very quickly. So I'm so thankful for you taking the time with me today, on a personal and professional level. I just love the crap out of you. So thank you for being with me today. And I want to make sure that you introduce the video that we want to show here, because it's your artist, and also there's a tricky name, and I'm going to put that on you.
Fair enough. So I'm super excited about this. So the video is for a track called Beautiful Creatures, and it is off of a release that we just dropped 4 days ago from Danielle de Picciotto. She's actually the one who is based in Berlin. and the album is called The Element of Love. So perfect timing for on Valentine's Day.
Yep.
But yeah, super excited. Yeah, just came out 4 days ago, and it's up for sale right now. So yeah, if you pick it up in the next 2 days, the label side of the profits will be going to help all of those nonprofits we talked about.
I love it. Check it out, everybody. Broken Clover Records. Mickey Darius, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. You're watching Shortwaves. Enjoy this video.
I believe we are superheroes in writhing amnesia, riddled by arrows, bound to a lie, blind to the abyss. Our wings torn with halos of doom, dressed in black, shrouded in gloom. We are superheroes with X-ray vision that confine themselves to the collision of mundane experience with petty power and everyday yellow press trash towers, preferring the security of a regular job than saving the world from a lynch mob. We could vanquish all evil with a toss of our heads, shape-shift to wizards, take dragons to bed. It's all at the tip of our tongue, not the sword, but we ignore our capacities of the unexplored. Kryptonite rays ablaze in our hearts, and instead trail the dull shine of phone and computer parts, listening to the complex lies of apes that revise truth as an advertised Bluetooth phone booth. We are superheroes in turmoil, thrashing and crying, entrapped in the mortal coil.
All right, everybody, that just about wraps up this edition of Shortwaves. And our special thanks this week to Mickey Darius of Broken Clover Records. And, of course, to Chasta for doing what she does. We are going to see you soon. Season 4 of Soundwaves TV, our full 1-hour episodes are coming back to you in March. Check us out at soundwavestv.com to get all those details. And until the next round, we'll see you. I'm Steven Kirk. Cheers.